Hello and welcome to the Texas Truck Channel. I'm going to give you a quick walk around on this 22 Tahoe Premier. This is all-wheel drive and it has the 6.2 liter behemoth of a V8 underneath the hood. And the most important part is the interior is all new for 22. We have not seen this yet on the Silverados. It is here now. We are really excited to show it to you. So this will be a quick just run around. We will have a full review coming after this, so stay tuned. So quickly, like I said, this is the Premier trim. You have 20-inch wheels and all-wheel drive. You also have the all-wheel drive auto function on the transfer case. And let's just get to that interior. That's probably the most important thing to see here. And look at that. I feel like GM has nailed the color palette on this. It is brown. It is not tan. It's hard to tell on the camera sometimes, but it is just dark enough to avoid severe staining like white or really light colored interiors will give you. On the left side of the column, you have all your command centers for the driver right here. You've got your parking brake, lane keep, you have parking sensors, outlet camera. That button right there is usually your start-stop, but because of COVID and because of semiconductor delays, there are two features that are not on this vehicle. One is the auto start-stop, and the other is the multiple displacement, which is the cylinder deactivation. And I'll be honest with you, I prefer not having those two features, so it might be a good time to buy one of these. So you have to delete them later on. Heads-up display controls here. You also have drive modes, and that's your 4 high, 4 low, 2 high, and auto. Now let's take a step in here. We do have the digital cluster, and this is the new center stack. This has the Google built into it. Now, you can see here's the Google stack in the middle. Apple CarPlay will come up here in just a second, and there is a wireless charger right here in the basin, and your 2 cup holders right here. You do have auto climate control. This looks very similar to the previous setup, but the biggest deal is the upper dash, and this cutout is all cleaned out. It looks really good. So you've got plenty of things to play with here. I want to show you the cluster. Now, being a 6.2, we haven't gotten brilliant mileage on this, but we'll talk about that more in the main review. We do have different configurations. This is traditional. You've got progressive, which I happen to like. I feel like if you're going to do a digital cluster, let's at least make it look a little cool. And then there's digital, which kind of simplifies it. And when this clusters away, it has speed in the middle. And then clean. Clean is just, you'll see in the bottom, it's minimized the gauges. It's gone from 3 to 1, which is just fuel. And then it has speed in the middle. So let's take it back to where we have the most information. We like that. Now, up top, we have the power moonroof with the cover that opens. Very nice. I will show you in a minute that while it is very nice, it does affect headroom in the rear. That's a little bit of a letdown for someone like me who is taller in the torso. But in the front row, man, it's hard to beat the comfort situation. Now, one feature I do like that GM has been good about doing lately is that this mirror is now a camera. Has tons of functionality right there to mess with. We love that. The Google Assist, I've had no problems with. Craig has had a few glitches happen to him. The only issue I've had is one time in reverse. I found a glitch in the matrix right around here. There are a few pixels that just did not populate. After a restart, that went away. So, while we're looking at cameras, there are a ton of them. Turn that back on. And I love it. I feel like you've got just infinite ability to see what's happening wherever you're parking. It makes this thing really easy to park. You also have the feature, you can add it on to put a backup camera onto the trailer that you're towing, which is really cool. So, in typical GM fashion, you used to be able to open and close this as a cubby hole behind the screen. They have added one here. It's not huge, but it will hold like a wallet or something like that. Let's check out the back. Okay, here is the second row, and it is also beautiful back here. We love it. You have a multimedia system in this particular unit for kids. You have heated rear seats and auto climate control in the middle down here. Also has GM branded headphones for the kiddos to play all their things. You can tie in systems to this with HDMI. That's pretty neat. We like that. Again, good color palettes. You can see here, ours is the 6.2, but if you had a diesel, there would be a port right there for your DEF fluid. And let's check out the rear. Okay, now one of the cool things about the suspension on this, which we'll talk about in our technical review in the full episode, is that you have more space back here than you used to, and the third row has a lot more space because of the way they've designed the rear suspension. All the suspension control arms are on the outside of the frame rail, and again, we'll show you all about that later. But this has the normal controls that you had in old GMs. These drop, and then you can do I will note that the third rows do come up very quickly, which is really cool. I like that a lot. All right, last thing to look at is going to be this behemoth of an engine. Let's go see it. One more quick note. I want to commend the GM fleet managers for the configuration. This is blue. It's hard to tell on the camera right now. In the sunlight, it's a beautiful metallic blue with the brown leather. And look at this roof rack. You don't see those very often, not at least in our region of the country. I love those. Looks like it's adventure ready. Okay, here it is. It does not look fancy, but it is 6.2 liters of pushrod Fury. It is direct injected, and variable valve timing does happen here. That's a pretty big deal for a one cam operation. And one of the more important things that we found is that how quiet this vehicle is, and you can see just why. There's foam right here, there's asphalt paneling there, and look in the very back, there's heat treated firewall insulation. Good job, GM. This thing is great. We're looking forward to seeing where this thing goes down the road. We're hearing that the Cadillac's getting a V version, which means the blower will probably live here somewhere. Very exciting. Stay tuned for the full review, and we'll see you next time.